Good morning, everyone. My name is Mighty Stream. I'm going to do your October the 7th just for today in a meditation. I'm looking forward to our time together. I hope you're having a beautiful morning. Let's go ahead and get into that meditation. The title of today's meditation, Depending on Our Higher Power. As recovering addicts, we find that we are still dependent. But our dependence has shifted from the things around us to a loving God and the inner strength we get in our relationship with Him. Let me repeat that for you. As recovering addicts, we find that we are still dependent, but our dependence has shifted from the things around us to a loving God and the inner strength we get in our relationship with Him. Now, that comes from our basic text, page 71. For many addicts, rebelliousness is second nature. We didn't want to depend on anyone or anything, and especially not on God. The beauty of using, we thought, was that it gave us the power to be and feel anything we wanted, all by ourselves. But the price we paid for this illusory freedom was a dependence beyond our worst nightmares. Rather than freeing us, using enslaved us. When we came to Narcotics Anonymous, we learned that dependence on God didn't have to mean what we may have thought it meant. Yes, if we wanted to be restored to sanity, we would need to tap a power greater than ourselves. However, we could choose our own concept of this higher power. We could even make one up. Dependence on a higher power would not limit us, we discovered. It would free us. The power we find in recovery is the power we lacked on our own. It is the love we were afraid to depend on others for. It is the sense of personal direction we never had, the guidance we couldn't humble ourselves to ask for or trust others to give. It is all these things, and it is our own. Today, we are grateful to have a higher power to depend on. Just for today, I will depend on the love and inner strength I draw from the God of my own understanding. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the we version of the serenity prayer. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. Depending on our higher power. Yeah, it was sort of like a catch-22 when I got here, right? Because I thought my issue is that I had left religion, right? I thought that was my issue. I left religion, and so when I get here, you guys are talking about, I came to believe that I could be restored to sanity, that I could have a power greater than myself, that I could depend on, that I could have a higher power of my own choosing, and that you guys weren't going to try to debate with me. That wasn't the truth. I did have people debate, right? But my mindset, I was ready to debate back. So it just worked. But actually, it's not supposed to be like that. So I got here thinking I was going to have to roll up my sleeves and fight for my right to believe in God the way that I wanted to believe in God. And I remember, trying to respect the traditions and respect the principles and trying not to put a name on my higher power, right? And just use what I call a title, use this title, God, the G word, right? And then I really struggled because there were other people that weren't trying to do that. And And so by the time they finished sharing, you knew, what mosque they went to, you knew what church they went to, you knew, it was some people that just didn't do that. And I was like, how dare you? Right. And it didn't help that I came from a religion that thought it was the only religion that mattered, right? So that piety just kind of still stuck to me when I got into the program. And I was like, man, this is going to be a huge thing, because I could see that the higher power that I had formulated, my God, that I had formulated before I got here, the other people that claimed to congregate with me and have that same higher power, there wasn't a whole lot of grace. There wasn't a whole lot of mercy or forgiveness for making human errors, right? You had to be more than a human. And I struggled with that. And so, but when I came face to face with other people that stood on their right to have their own higher power, I was like, how dare you not? You don't want my higher power? I mean, don't I look like I turned out so well? You don't want my God? I'm trying to tell you, it was like, it was crazy. Everything in me was challenged. Everything in me. Everything. But let me tell you, on the real serious side, what that all did for me. Going through those phases when I first got here, I rebelled, absolutely. The concept of having a God of my own understanding, like my own understanding, y'all told me my best thinking got me here. So now my own understanding is enough. Where, excuse me? No, no, no. I have to have the God or the understanding of God that is beyond my understanding. Believe you me, I'm not going to survive if I don't. And the God that I came with was so untangible, intangible, right? So now I'm listening to everyone be so comfortable talking about God, knowing goodness well we don't all have the same God, the same concept. Some are very secular. And I was like, huh, what? And we're all sitting in this room, not getting high? And if truth be told, you know goodness well, Mighty Stream, the God of your own understanding was not, it wasn't working, because you never were enough. You could never be enough, right? You might want to take a look at this, revamp it. And so all of that stuff I went through, those changes, I realized over time that this was a freeing type of situation. It wasn't meant to enslave me. It was freeing. That second paragraph where it says, when we came to Narcotics Anonymous, right? This right here. We learned that dependence on God didn't have to mean what we thought may have thought it meant. I figured that out a lot soon. I mean, not soon, but I figured it out. And I came to appreciate it a lot. Wow. Talk about having an epiphany. So you mean that I'm free to let all that religiosity and piety go? Yeah, I'm very grateful for Narcotics Anonymous. I'm grateful for the strength, the love that I draw on from the God of my own understanding. And that's why it's so deep and so wide for me, because now I fit into this nestle that I created I got a really good understanding of just how spiritual and not religious it really is. And wherever that is, I can do very well. Yes. And so I want that for you. If you don't have that, I want for you to be looking at your dependence on your higher power, your relationship with your higher power, who and what or how you and your higher power operate. This is important discussion for the future of your, success in recovery, right? The future of your recovery. A lot of people skip it, go around it, and they always seem to make their way back to it. Yeah, I'm not saying that you can't stay clean without doing it. And I know a lot of people have, but they also act like they don't have a higher power. Yeah, they also act like they are a bit self-dependent, a little bit too much, right? Very self-dependent because they are their own God. And if that works for them, if they're staying clean, that's all that they want. Staying clean, but nobody likes them, right? Because of their attitude. The BSers coming to meeting, cussing everybody out there. I mean, every other word is cuss word when they share. They all into the isms. They don't have the good common sense to appreciate inclusivism, right? And so they're very offensive when they share, the way that they share. Yeah. And you just sit there and you just say to yourself, man, all I can say, I'm glad that's not me. My name is Mighty Stream. I've enjoyed talking to you. I hope that you will take this meditation very seriously, but I also hope that you will have a beautiful day on purpose.